once everyone gets back in here, or the two that were still remaining, we're on a better camera now. Oh, ooh. Oh, flavor in it. Let's see the migration, maybe. Hopefully. Man, yeah. Okay. Better. That's what a $1,200 camera will do. Well, $1,200 phone versus a Samsung version 2 tablet or whatever the fuck this thing is. It's a heap of shit. What were we talking about? Oh, the podcast. So, we're not going to talk about guns and gear and freeze-dried food versus, can't think of it right now. Freeze-dried versus dehydrated and this and that and the others. It's going to be just a general podcast talking about life or whatever, but that stuff's going to come up every here, now, and yonder. And unless I did a live stream, then you wouldn't get the input of two people who are in vastly different stages. Like, so there's me, who I've got that stuff here, there, and yonder, and I've done a fair amount of research into it as far as what I think I should be storing or stored, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll get the opinion of a buddy of mine who is, like, he watches YouTube videos about tactical stuff and a little bit here and there, and he kind of dabbles, and he likes guns, he likes shoots guns. I could probably convince to have some stuff stored as far as long-term food storage stuff. Both of them I could probably convince to. But you would get the perspective in the podcast or the live stream, or if I make videos, I don't even know what the fuck this is all going to entail now, but one person who kind of knows what I'm talking about, gets the gist of it, at least understands, and one who's, would be like talking gibberish to them. They just wouldn't and not to say that they would be against it or for it or whatever, but it would be a new subject to them, so you would get good questions that people who might not be into that stuff, or if you're watching and you're new into it, they would probably have the same or similar questions. Keep my own stuff where? On the channel? My stuff, I'm still going to have the channel and still make stuff, and there might even be an Evolving Daily podcast to talk more strictly about the guns and the gears and which I could give a shit less about guns. Like, as long as they make a loud noise whenever I press the trigger off far enough, and it's if it's accurate enough, I'm cool with it. I don't really geek out on, the other day I was looking at, there's a new rifle, a different rifle that I would like to have to fill a specific role. There's a couple, but in the budget right now, there can be one. And I posted it up in some group somewhere, and this has the FRT coating, and you need the 8741-9er, and it's like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And when it comes to that stuff, I just default to guys who have taken a lot of training, or guys in the legitimate side of the industry that have beat the shit up and experimented with this coating versus that one, and this barrel length versus that, and blah, blah, blah. Because I don't really care about guns that much. Yeah, some of them look cool. But I've seen a lot of those cool looking guns, like that are skeletonized, and they've got $7,000 worth of machining and extra parts and switches, and I've seen a couple of those eat a whole lot of dog shit in class. Like, a lot. I'm getting bad connection over here now. Wonder if it's because Facebook might be trying to, YouTube might be trying to go at a higher definition or something. I don't know. I must need, I think I've got my phone from before this one somewhere that I could live stream off of. Does anyone in here know anything about routers? Because I've been wanting a new router for a while. I've never had any reason to justify it. And now with trying, like when I'll be trying to do this live stream and 1 or 2 more in addition to this one, I have a feeling everything's just going to pile up into a ball of shit. Yeah, YouTube kind of blows. YouTube is one of the more finicky things. Like, it's weird how touchy and sensitive it is. And I'm not talking about like people getting banned and this and that. Just like YouTube just is fucky. Like, I can stream on Netflix something ridiculously more of a package, I guess you'd like, but you try to watch a 30-second cat video and it just YouTube direct with your cam instead of going through a broadcaster program like OBS. It uses your main processor for video, not your graphics card, which really eats up the resources. I have no idea what 90% of that said. I am fairly ignorant when it comes to the inner workings of anything electronic, except for like 12-volt stuff. I can wire you something up. It's not going to be kosher. It's not going to be to spec, but... So I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. Right now I'm on a Galaxy S... whatever the newest one is. 8, I think. S8. I go to YouTube and I hit the old Go Live button. So if you could tell me what I should I be doing it from a laptop or still from my phone? My laptop is dog shit. It's an Acer Aspire 5552 from a long time ago, and I only know the model number because the other day I was trying to look up to see how or if I can make it better by bolting shit into it, and it doesn't look that much. So use a laptop or a desktop, or are you asking, am I using a laptop or a desktop? See? It's a good thing I got on here tonight because now I'm learning shit while drinking beer. Best way to do it. Trying to log in on the Facebooks. I had looked at buying a portable desktop, is maybe what they're called. Basically, it's a desktop, and you just jack it into a TV. It's better to use when streaming YouTube through a streaming program like OBS. So if I just Google OBS and find a free version and download that mug, will I be able to figure out how to live stream from it? And will it be that much of a discernible difference? Because we've only done, I guess you would say, 3 podcasts and released 1. See, I can just research on the YouTubes. The other thing I really did my laptop for, and we're still in the inception stage, but the other thing I really used the laptop for during the live stream was just to chat on the live stream, because I had my phone set up, because this is the front facing camera, so it's not nearly as good as the back facing camera, the camera. So I had it set up, 8 feet across the room and turn around backwards. So I couldn't really respond to comments or even see comments to talk about them on the phone. Luckily now, prep video and live feed and switch between cameras. Oh, that's going to be that's going to be down the line, because right now we're still figuring out if we can if we're going to have enough content to do a regular-ish podcast, like maybe weekly, as far as content with me and them. And then once we figure out that, yeah, this thing may kick off, and not really kick off, even if there's 3 downloaders, that's fine with me, because I think it'll be good for all parties involved. Good as in beneficial, like therapeutic almost. Because we already have, it's me and my buddies. So we already hang out and bullshit and talk about random things on Friday, Saturday nights. Advance is purchase. The switching thing, that may be a in the future part, back and forth. What was I saying? Oh, therapeutic. So, we already, obviously talk and bullshit and hang out and drink beer. But I think it would be better, because usually we end up talking about other people or this or that. But if we are doing the podcast, then we're not going to be using people's names. We're not going to be talking about, well, this person did that, blah, blah, which we don't that much. But I think that will steer into more general life conversations. And I don't know how to really say it. It'll make for deeper conversations about general life topics than just bullshitting about, beer is social helper. I really wish, never mind. I'm sure that'll be a podcast topic soon. But yeah, the podcast will be fairly general. There will be some gun talk and this and that here and there, but that's not going to be the heart of it. What kind of stuff would you guys listen to? 3 random guys, one being a gun guy, all of them shoot guns. The one who shoots guns the least and owns the least amount of guns is probably the best shot, especially with a pistol. Especially without any kind of training or trying. Like, he can just pull up a big old dirty hairy 6-shooter and pa-ting. Beer reviews with 3 buds. Beer reviews. Oh, okay. Yeah, there will be. That's one thing that we kind of already talked about the other day. It was the first podcast that we did. So I went and bought a bottle of Gentleman Jack, because if I'm going to buy something to drink, if I'm going to buy a legitimate alcohol to sip, like anything over 70 proof, and I'm not going to spend $100, it's going to be Gentleman Jack. So then what that kind of rolled into was, well, we'll start having a different drink every week, or every podcast, or whatever. So it was I kind of brought the thing up. The alcohol. If you're not a fan of alcohol, then you're probably not going to be a fan of the podcast. We're not going to get hammered drunk. We've already decided that. A drink or 2, 3 at the most, just so we don't get on tangents and start screaming. Apple, Crown, and Mountain Dew. Apple, Crown, Crown and Mountain Dew. Straight Crown and Mountain Dew. It took forever for me to try that because it sounded disgusting. I love it. But, so it's going to be like a weekly thing of different drinks, trying out different drinks. And then I'm sure it'll be, one of the guys really likes craft beers. I'm sure sometimes it'll be trying some Dandelion Pale Ale with a hint of cinnamons and fuck. I'm not a big fan of craft beer. Most craft beer to me tastes like Blue Dawn dishwashing liquid or dandelions. Neither I'm a big fan of. This week is going to be Manhattans. So I think, if I remember correctly, Manhattans are going to be a rye, I think. A rye, vermouth, Augustino bitters, cherry, and there's something else in there, but I can't remember. If you've never had a Manhattan, pretty tasty, I think. Especially for as simple there, because like some drinks you splash in whatever this, some kind of bitter, and you swirl it and dump it out, and then you add in this, and you gotta muddle something, No, add like 2 or 3 things tops, and then drink it. Like one of my favorite mixed drinks is you take a big chunk of ice, a big one. The cleaner ice, the better, and that makes a big difference. A lot of people don't think so. You pour a sizable amount of Gentleman Jack over top of it, give that thing about 5 minutes, and then drink it. It's pretty fucking tasty. Or Michelob Ultra, or Budweiser. Canada stand. Weed's legal in Canada in July 1st. Is that what I'm getting from this? I know this is probably fucking up the camera, but shit hits the fan. I know where to get a good cash. I don't know that that's good news. I'm glad to hear it. Shit hits the fan, a good cash here. Nah, there's some stuff here, a little bit here and there. I'm a pretty big believer in sprinkling my stuff across many different areas. Recreational pot is legal, and you get ran out of town if you drink a Bud Light in Oregon. Well, they can fuck right off. Not about the legal marijuana. I think it should be legal everywhere. I think a lot of shit should be legal. But getting run off if they get run off for Bud Light, that's fine because it's swill water. Budweiser, I can get on board with. Miller Lite, okay. Michelob Ultra, Coors Light, only if you're like going for the record. Legalize it all, tax it all, regulate it all. The big 2 parts are legalize it all and regulate it all. Like all this meth and heroin epidemic, like if that stuff was well regulated, and not by, I don't mean well regulated as in you're only allowed to buy a certain amount. If it was made clean in a laboratory by people who know what the fuck they're doing, then yeah, it wouldn't be nearly as big of an issue. Like a big problem we had around here not too long ago, not in my direct area but very close, is just dirty ass meth. Or people used to getting this that was X amount, not strength but purity or whatever, and they get something totally different and goes wah, go nose first to the dirt. 25%. Whoa, Jesus. I don't know what the tax rate is around here on alcohol. I know it's a shitload on cigarettes. And that's, so like, I think they tax it too much here, and that's at like $5.50, $6 a pack, I think. And then we went on vacation to New York City, and it was like 12 or 13. Jesus, talk about getting her hand in the honey pot. And they say that it's a sin tax, it's something that's bad for you. You don't need to fucking decide what's bad for me. I'm a grown ass adult. Like, you shouldn't, I don't think very many things should be taxed any different than anything else. Why should they be? Well, they're bad for you. Okay. So are Little Debbie's. And if that's a regional thing, I'm talking about snack cakes or fucking little oatmeal pies and shit. They're bad for you. And now places are starting to do a sugary drink tax. Fuck you. And I don't even drink that. I might have a pop. Yeah, in West Virginia we say pop, not soda. I might have a pop maybe once a day. Fuck you if you try to tax us on a sugary drink. That is, well, it's not good for you. It's unhealthy. And yeah, I know it is. And it's delicious. Remove the personal growth portion of our legislation for finalized in the House, which is dirty. How do I get that to keep up instead of just fading away? Is anybody, who is my Stan Olch? Depending on where your ancestors come from and what they did at Ellis Island. Socialized medicine, Jesus. That's, like, I've had a debate with a couple people, and it's usually when they, like, when you're debating or having a conversation or just disagreeing, the free healthcare, or however you want to say it, here's my stance on it. If I decide tomorrow that I'm going to eat nothing but stuff that I grow in my yard, the cleanest food imaginable, I don't use too much this, too much that, blah, 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 and I run 3 miles every day, I do yoga, I meditate for 4 hours, I live the cleanest, healthiest, most relaxing, and fulfilled life in the world, I shouldn't have to pay for someone's insurance who drinks like fish, smokes 4 packs of cigarettes a day, and sticks their dick in anything that moves. Because they're going to be going to the doctor like once a month getting something unfucked. I shouldn't have to pay for them to live that fucking lifestyle. That's what you're doing. Anytime that somebody says free this, there's nothing free. They're just like, that's a saying that people just kind of, there ain't shit that's free. If you can name me something that's actually free other than air, there ain't nothing else. There's some of the stuff that should be free that isn't, but the government tries to, like right now, I don't know if you can hear it, that's the one thing that sucks about drywall and insulation in the ceiling. I got a tin roof over me, and I wish I could hear that because I'd lay down and go to bed, listen to rain on a tin roof. But it's raining right here right now. And there are a lot of state governments who are saying that that is not free, and that's not your property, that rain falling down. They could suck my hairy balls. 2-tier private clinics for the rich and wait lines for the poor. And that's the thing, a lot of people, they want this free health care. Think about the one free healthcare system that we already have in the U.S. It's already here. It's everywhere. It's nationwide. It's not everywhere. It is nationwide. The VA. And it's not free. They paid for it by serving the country. But it is, on paper, once they're out, it is free to them. How fucked up is it? If you would guess about 100%, you would be correct. I have driven a lot of guys who couldn't afford, or for various reasons, couldn't make it to the VA. Because where we sit right now, and there are a lot of places like this in our state, it's the closest one would be by UHC, so 2-hour drive one way to get to the VA. Sounds like it's kind of fucked, doesn't it? Yeah. That's how good the federal government, any part of the government, does with providing a service. 2-hour drive. Then once they get there, they're in line half the fucking day, even though their appointment was at 9, they get seen at like 2 in the afternoon. They've fucked up whole days for me before. And then the care they get is shitty. I'm not going to say it's not shitty all the time. I'm not going to make that broad stroke, but the war stories that I've heard from, I've never counted, but north of has to be at least 50 people. War stories from people who have been to war and talking about their treatment at the VA. Holy shit. Sounding like a Republican. There's certain things about the Republican Party that I don't necessarily disagree with as much, but demographics is playing a huge role. A larger number of elder population, which is taxing on healthcare system, or less working contributors. Yeah. That's the thing, like where I live, there are a shitload of people who don't work. And a lot of them are retirees, which is, I mean, that's fine. That's what a lot of people work for is retirement. A lot of them are lazy, worthless, no good motherfuckers. So a lot of people around here don't contribute to the system. However you want to call it, big government or whatever. They don't contribute shit, but they take plenty. And I'm not talking bad about the retirees. I'm talking shit about the people who, at the age of 18, sign up for their disability because they don't like being in crowds or they don't like being in this. But they'll sure go to Walmart and stand in huge fucking lines. They'll go to concerts. They'll go to wherever the fuck, anywhere that's not a job. They will go there. They'll show up. But they can't go work because they're just too disabled. Life's just too fucking hard for them. God, they're pathetic. I don't think they could be this bad across the whole country. Because if there were, I would doubt that if you said more than 30% of people in my county worked for a living, I would be surprised. It could be, but like the second biggest, our county's tiny, it's 6,500 people. The second biggest group of people, you know, like the second largest, you could, I guess, say town, most of them are on some kind of disability or bullshit Social Security or whatever nonsense they're fucking on. I got dirt on it. Yeah, it's a fucking universal health care. They tried to. Anywho, it's a fucking shit show. And so many people think it's the answer. Yeah. It's been going on for 30 minutes. And the one before this probably went on for 10 or 15. It's fucking 12:30. So this was an attempt at running 2 live streams. I would say part of the second live stream's problem was a shitty ass tablet. That's the thing. And I've never seen data or this or that. But there are a lot of people in the U.S. that love going to the fucking doctor. I mean, love it. So, I would guess that our medical system as a whole is bigger than, like, per capita in a lot of other countries because, and it gets worse every year. I worked on an ambulance for a long time. Somebody stubs their fucking toe, they go to the doctor. Or they get a cough, they go to the fucking doctor. It doesn't matter what in the hell they're doing. People just love to go to the doctor around here. And the people who don't have to pay for it are even more inclined. This is no lie. We live a 45-minute drive from the closest hospital. And that 45-minute drive isn't like, well, you're in traffic or this. That is 55 miles an hour, so from over there, probably 30 miles. 30 miles away, at least, from the closest hospital. And people love to go to the fucking doctor, especially people who don't work for a living and pretty much have never worked. We took one woman in 8 times in 7 days to the emergency room. 8 times in 7 days. We would load her up, take her there. When we go to the ER, she would sign herself out AMA against medical, I wouldn't think it'd be approval. Probably against medical advice. That sounds better. Would sign herself out, then go hang out with her friends in Parkersburg, which is the town that we would take them to. hang out there, and then go back to the ER, be half-assed seen again, and have a crew from that county bring her back home as a discharge. She did that 8 times in 7 days. Pretty fucking bad. And obviously she is the shining star. Not everyone's like that. But amongst our non-working, just collected a check residents, but a pretty big fan of that. I haven't been to the doctor in... I had a physical for the union. Yes, I'm in the union. A year or so ago, but other than that, I probably haven't been to the doctor in like 10 years. Some of them are lonely. Some of them are legitimate hypochondriacs. A lot of them use an ambulance as a fucking taxi. 100% straight out. Yes. ER taxi service. And for us, it's legitimately a taxi. It's so they can get into a town that has fast food and a Walmart and anything to buy. So they literally, and their friends to visit in the slums of up there. She got to the point where she was too lazy to go to Hospital A, it's closer. She would go up to Hospital B because it was much closer to the ghetto. It was like a 2-minute shorter walk, which is where she was going to hang out with all her friends. Yeah. Fucking hate most people. 80% of people I probably fucking hate. I don't even know what my health insurance covers on dental, but I need to go. I haven't been to a dentist in a couple of years either. I've always had fucking problems with my teeth. Either getting them knocked out, all these 4, or like your teeth coming in sideways, braces, surgeries, all that bullshit. God, I hate having them. If it wasn't so goddamn expensive, I would have them all cut out and implants put in. That's the thing. I'm going to have to find a very expensive dentist. I've probably been to 10 in my life. Yeah, I'd say at least 10 different dentists. I've been numb one time. Oh, that's why they only cover 50%. I don't even know what our union covers. I think the dental's not very good, but the medical is, I think. But the one time that I got actually numbed at the dentist where I didn't feel it and didn't like bruise my arms from squeezing them like crazy, he gave me 3 injections up through here, like in the gum line, 3 in the jaw, in the cheek line, 3, 2 inside, and a couple up in there. It was like 15 different injections just to get it numb, to where I didn't like, because I always sit like this and just squeeze my biceps. I'm usually bruised right through there, and I don't bruise at all ever, but I can't stand pain in my mouth, and I never get numb, and I just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, so I don't stick my tongue in there and get something fucked up. So, I'm going to have to take a walk, get rid of some fluid. The podcast is More For Less, M-O-R-E space F-O-R space L-E-S-S. It was on Stitcher the other day, and then I couldn't find it on there today. I think it's been submitted to Google Play, but I don't think it's been approved. And it has been submitted to iTunes, but I don't have iTunes, and I hate everything Apple, so I haven't even looked there yet. Yeah. I've had quite a bunch of shit done in my mouth. A surgery for a tooth here. The bone where the teeth go into broken right here and here. Root canals, one didn't take. It's still a pain in the ass. Braces. Couple teeth pulled. All kind of goofy shit. More, space 4, space less, all spelled out. More for less is the podcast. Google Play, applied. iTunes, submitted, and I don't even know. I haven't even fucking checked there. Stitcher, it was on there the other day, I couldn't find it today. And you can get it direct on Libsyn. Libsyn. Lima, India, Bravo, Sierra, Yankee, November. More for less, yes, Alan, but with spaces. I think. I don't know. A buddy of ours, so he's more technically inclined. He takes it and edits the audio and tries to get the levels right, and then uploads it to Libsyn, which I think distributes it to all the other outlets automatically, I believe. I don't know. We've done like 3 recordings, I guess you would say. The first time we did it, we kind of did one and took a break and then did a second one. But we did not format the SD card before we started recording. So it recorded, but then we couldn't get it off of there by any means. And he's a tech dude, for the most part. I mean, compared to me, he's a tech dude. So the second recording, which is basically, I am me, I do this, I'm into that, he is him, blah, 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 and kind of went around the table just introducing and bullshitting a little bit. And we were pressed for time on that one. I think we're going to record stuff. It's today Thursday into Friday. Yes. We're either going to record tonight or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. And by tomorrow I mean Saturday. And for that, there's actually still 5 people here. Jacob Villers on Facebook. I've got all my firefighting shit on for that profile. Not or. Evolving Daily Channel Facebook page. Because I don't know which one I'll live stream to first. Because that's like my backup Facebook account and the one I use for social media. This is and that's and YouTube. So there's like 140 or so of my buddies that from gun camp and stuff on there. I'll probably live stream on there this weekend and on here maybe if we get the bandwidth and the technologifications all aligned. But if you want to watch the podcast and sort of interact and get the unedited version just in case shit gets weird, that will be the place to watch it. For sure on the Facebook. Hopefully also here on the YouTubes. That way we can build a little bit of a initial following with the podcast. I'm guessing it's going to be like Facebook. The more downloads it gets and the more reviews and stuff on iTunes, the more it works up through the charts. That's like when I first started the YouTube channel. It was like pulling fucking teeth to get a couple subscribers. That boxer, that was my brother's boxer. And then me and my brother moved to a house 200 yards away, and my dad just decided he was going to keep it over there. And then brother went in the Navy, dog stayed with dad. And then I have another white boxer, and my cousin who lives in the same yard as us has a husky. And those 2 white boxers, even though they've only been around each other probably 24 hours time total that they've been alive, It's crazy how much stuff they do exactly the same. And both of them are hams for the camera. They love to act cute and do stupid shit and make goofy noises. Do I fish? Oh, that was another question. Yes, I fish. I used to fish a lot. When I was in high school, I fished, I would say, at least 3 times a week. At least. Now, I'll go fishing if someone else is going to. But for the most part, if I'm off, the weather's decent, and there's any one of my other buddies that I actually hang out with, pretty much we're going to go golfing. And I'm not a big golfer. I'm really not. So, I drink beer, I drive a golf cart, and I try to hit shit out of the ball. The only one of those that I do well is drinking the beer. It's the only one I do well. My buddies from the podcast, so I drink beer and swing toward the ground in that general direction. Both of them golfed in college in small, like Division III or Division II. I can't remember what Glenville was at the time. I think they were 2. Now maybe they're 3. They were on scholarships, partials, because I think that's all they offered. Yeah, they're not fucking bad, like at all. And that's some of the podcasts might be recorded while in the golf cart or driving around or staying on the green, or just little bits and chunks here and there. So yes, we golf. Oh yeah, you can fish on the golf course, but out there, nah. There's just not many places to go and fish that people haven't ruined around here. There's beer cans scattered everywhere and shattered glass, trash, this, that. People just, it's the welfare fuckers. I know because I see them down there all the time. So they ruin a lot of the good places to fish around here. Golf. So there might be some podcasts done while golfing. Would love to do some hunting down the U.S. And see, that's one of those things where the grass is greener. And I'm sure there are different types of hunting that, would be worth coming down here. But everybody down here, like there's a few buddies of mine that's their big thing. If they get a week off from work or whatever, guys that plan it out and do it every 5 or 6 months, is everybody wants to go to Canada and fish and hunt. That's just, they buck. Alright. The interwebs are bucking me. What I was saying was, everybody from down here loves to go to Canada to hunt and fish. Anyhow, YouTube's starting to buck me on here. They just twice tried to restart the app. So, podcast, more for less. Yeah. Check out the Facebook page, Evolving Daily Channel, or Jacob Villers. I'll approve your friend request thingy. Because, especially, I know Alan comments on about every video I make. Stan, you may, I'm not that well with remembering names and faces and profile pictures. Don't have Facebook. I'm Charles VH. I'm going to try to live stream it on YouTube's. Just trying to stream 2 different things on my router may buck me. I'll try to stream it here. I will for sure stream it on Facebook. But yeah, probably Saturday-ish around 8 or 9 o'clock or something. I don't know. We'll see when it gets there. But I would like to have words. I would like to have you guys over on the live stream commenting That way, if there gets to be a law, because the podcasting thing is brand new right now. That way, if there is a law or something like that, or if we get off track, if we're talking over each other, etc., etc. Chinese? I don't know why that surprised me, but it does. That the biggest market in Canada for trapping and hunting is Chinese. I guess most of their country's overpopulated and has some really weird fucking animals. Anywho, now it's saying very bad connection. I think this store might be having some kind of influence on the interwebs. I appreciate you for watching. I think there's all of one of you still hanging around. Watch for the podcast live stream. Thanks, guys.